In this session today, let's understand how to how to enable SQL database projects extension in Azure Data Studio. Firstly, what is this database projects? Let's understand the SQL database project. SQL database projects extension, this is the actual title. Yes, here it is. It is an Azure Data Studio and Visual Studio Code extension. Hello. Okay. Now we use this database projects extension, which is developed in the Data Studio and Visual Studio Code for SQL Server, Azure SQL Database, Manage Instance, and Synapse SQL development, deployment, and build activities. So here, mainly we are going to work with build, output artifacts called DAC files, DAC PAC files. Here it is. SQL database project involves pre-deployment script. It involves database objects like procedures, views, functions, triggers, synonyms, etc., tables, and so on, and post-deployment script. From this project, the result would be a DAC file once we apply build activity. So we have these following features. Using database project extension, we can create new blank projects. We can create new projects from an existing connected database. Open previously created projects from Data Studio and Visual Studio Code, SQL Server data tools. Visual Studio Code is nothing but SSDT, SQL Server data tools. A traditional MSBI developer environment. Edit the projects, edit the existing projects, optimize the files and pre-post deployment scripts, and add reference to system databases or a user DAC pack. We can build single project or deploy a project or even load connection details. Okay, here it is. As on date, we have SQL and Windows authentication supported. As on date, Azure authentications are not supported. Let's understand how to get this Data Studio extension. Azure Data Studio SQL Database extension. Let's see how it is. To install the SQL Database project extension, we need to first open our Data Studio tool, this one. Okay, once you open the Data Studio tool, then here it is. Go to the next step, extensions. Okay, so here very simple and straight. What we do, we need to go to extensions. Click on this manage option, extensions. Okay, this one. Go to manage extensions. Here you see multiple extensions here. Search for database projects. This one, database projects install. This would take few moments time. It is going to install the projects extension. I still remember in olden days we used to have extensions in Visual Studio for integration services, analysis, reporting. We used to have something called extensions. Same way now we have Azure Data Studio projects extension. What we do, we design, edit, publish schema. We can even compare multiple databases and warehouses using this extension. Okay, once we get this extension installed, what we do, here it is. We need to make sure you click on the small settings here, extension settings. Make sure it is enabled. Go to extension settings. Once you go to extension setting, make sure you leave everything to default. Okay, do not change anything. Sometimes you may see this checkbox enabled. If it is enabled, disable that extension. So disable the checkbox. We are ready to work with database projects next. How to work with database projects? How to perform schema comparisons if needed before we proceed for migrations? We are going to learn those items in our next upcoming video classes. We'll start from scratch. How to create empty project to opening an existing project, existing database, new projects, existing projects, build, publish, schema comparisons, etc. Remember, these are all the very common activities we need to do in our day-to-day engineering and development activities. Schema comparisons. We'll do it slowly, step by step. Let's stay tuned. Let's go on with our next part of this particular chapter. How to use this extension and start working on it. We'll do slowly, step by step. Thank you. See you there in the next part of this particular item. Thank you so much.